Evening, folks. Wednesday evening, and it's 6:10. And been a bit of a strange week this week so far, and it's only Wednesday, which is quite worrying. Now, I'll start with the boring stuff first, which is obviously the stuff to do with the lockdown. Now, we've been in lockdown for, I think I've been in it now for 8 weeks. 8 weeks, yeah. And I'm not prepared to come out of lockdown until things have improved a lot. Now, unfortunately, I've got a feeling that the laws are going to be, the lockdown rules are going to be lessened over the next week or two. And I think people are going to get what they want. But there's a couple of things I wanted to bring up which I found bizarre. One thing they were on about discussing was that people could meet family and friends, but only in small groups of 10 or less. Now, I don't know about you, but it's very rarely I will meet 9 people when I'm out. That I know, if you know what I mean, to meet up with. I either meet up with my sister, who's like, there's her and her husband, so there's 2, that would be 4 of us, or I meet my mum and my sister, in which case there's 5 of us. And my sister pointed out a good thing. She said, surely a group of 10 is a gathering. It's not a meeting, it's a gathering. If you choose to meet 10 people outside of lockdown, that's a gathering. That's not just family coming together. That would have to be sort of like a special event, like a birthday or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But it just made me think how ridiculous. I don't think they can let the laws, the lockdown rules, go any slacker than they are. The reason being, people aren't doing as they're supposed to be doing now. So what are they going to be like if suddenly he says, oh yeah, you can meet up in groups? How are they going to prove who is a family member and who isn't? How are they going to prove if somebody is a friend or isn't? Because I said to Deb, I said, hang on, there's 2 of us in this house. Now just say, hypothetically, I had 10 friends who I could meet downtown. So I go out and I go meet them 10 friends. That's allowed. But then Deb goes out and she meets 10 different friends. And that's allowed. Now that's 20 different people we are meeting, who could then go and meet another 10 people each. That's 200. Who could then go meet another 10 each. That's 2,000. You know what I mean? Do you see where I'm going with this? I don't see how they can control the coronavirus by allowing people to meet in groups of 10 or less. Because to me, that could escalate it times 10 in the space of 5 days. And I reckon that the amount of people who are infected could go through the roof. Besides that, I want to tell you about something else. Now, we hear about these people who are a bit silly, really. They want to do things even though they know they're not supposed to. Now, I'll tell you about a person, first of all, who at the moment is self-quarantining, isolating, whatever you call it. Anyway, she's been doing it for 8 weeks now. She's 71 years old. She's got underlying health conditions, including CMT and diabetes. So my sister has been doing a lot of shopping for her and making sure she's all right, and we've kept her going with conversations and stuff like that. She's now decided, because she went up the shop this morning, this woman, she went up the shop this morning to do a little bit of shopping, just up the road, a little corner shop, just to give it 5 minutes, get her a bit of fresh air and get her a couple of items. She's now decided that she wants to go to town and do shopping on her own. She doesn't want my sister to do it no more for her. She wants to do it on her own. Now, first of all, the only way she can get to town is by public transport, because she lives about a mile from the city. When I pointed out that if she does that, she will have to go on public transport, and people have been abusing public transport, licking the bars and coughing on bars on purpose and stuff like this, she then came up with the brilliant solution of walking to town herself. Now, bear in mind, she's got CMT like I have, right? And my walking capacity is about 15 minutes before I'm absolutely knackered for the day. And she is on about walking a mile into town and a mile back with shopping. Now, this person, unfortunately, this is where the punchline comes in, is my mother. My own mum. We're all trying to protect her and make sure she's not exposed to this condition and lessen the chance of her getting it or passing it on. And she was going to go down and do her own shopping. Well, she isn't going down and do her own shopping. We've told her, no chance, not a hope in hell are you going out of that door and doing your own shopping downtown. Because if she thinks she's going to go down there and everything's going to be open how it was, all the stores open and all that, it isn't. It isn't. Only certain stores are open. And also, like I've said, if she walks down there, she can't walk that far without getting in pain and being off her feet. So how she thinks she's going to be able to walk all the way into town and walk all the way back out again to her house with shopping, even though she's got one of them little square trolley things she pushes, she's still not going to be able to do it. So anyway, luckily, me and my sister have sort of ganged up on it, if you like, and told her that under no circumstances is she going shopping. Because I don't know whether she thinks that because of what's been said that it's all over with now and everybody can go back to normal, because that's how people are going at the moment. They seem to be under the impression that now the worst of it is over, everything's going to go back to normal. Now, I live just around the corner, literally about a 10-15 minute walk from our nearest KFC. And yesterday they decided to open the doors for the first time in God knows how long. They opened the drive-through. Not the doors, you know what I mean, the drive-through. The queue was over a mile long in cars of people queuing to get KFC. Now, if that's the case there, what's it going to be like if they suddenly say all fast food restaurants can now reopen? Can you imagine what the queues are going to be like? I personally don't eat fast food that often. I really don't. I prefer good home-cooked food from scratch, which Deb is fantastic at. She makes all her own chilies, sauces, marinades for chickens. She did a lovely lasagna, and we hadn't got any, what they called, pasta sheets. No, none of that in. So she did it using aubergine for the first time. We're not exactly a great lover of how it's done, but she did it, and she did it from scratch. That's the sauce and everything that goes in it. She did it all from scratch. We don't survive on fast food, and I can't believe that there's that many people who would be, how can I put it, craving for KFC. I mean, I love KFC, don't get me wrong. Somebody puts a bag of boneless KFC in front of me, I'll eat the lot. I love KFC, absolutely adore it. But there is no way in hell I am going to go queuing for at least 2 hours in order to get a KFC meal. I think you'd have to be a bit short of a shilling, to be honest with you. In layman's terms, that means you'd have to be a bit slow, shall we call it. So yeah, I'm completely baffled by this queuing for 2 hours to get a KFC thing. Now, another thing I've got to tell you about, it's not funny, but it is funny. A lot of people, while this has been going on, have been doing things for the local community. And one of them is my cousin Tracy and her husband Ben. What they've been doing, because he's a DJ, they have been doing street bingo, where people stay in their gardens and they do bingo by him shouting out the numbers with a microphone, etc, etc. Great, fantastic, wonderful idea, brilliant. Every Saturday, no problem, I think it's Saturday anyway. And it's been going fantastic. But the papers have gotten hold of this story and reported, this is how it's worded, and I will try and word it how it is worded. It says, street bingo ends in drunken fight. Now, I've been onto the internet and checked with these people on the internet and checked their side of the story. One, there was no drunken fight. There was no aggro there whatsoever, and if there was any aggro, it was after it was all finished and everybody had gone in, then somebody might have got drunk and had a fight. That's up to them, but that's nothing to do with Ben and Tracy. They're completely innocent. But it's been made out that they've actually held an event that's ended up in a drunken fight because somebody in their street grassed them up, but grassed them up for something they didn't do. So you've got people who are trying their best to keep community spirit high and doing their utmost to make sure people are happy while this is all going on, and they had it thrown back in the face. Now, my cousin is absolutely fuming about this, absolutely angry, really angry, and I wouldn't be surprised if her story isn't in the paper soon about the truth, because the truth behind it is there was no drunken fight due to this bingo at all. It made it sound like somebody lost at bingo and had a fight because they had lost to something. It was nothing to do with that whatsoever. In fact, as far as they know, there was no fight at all anyway, no matter what this paper's saying. But of course, if you report that and you say that there's a drunken fight because of this, that obviously then highlights their estate and makes it sound like it's a really bad place and they're always fighting and there's no community spirit, because that's what the papers are trying to do. They're trying to diminish the community spirit that's alive at the moment, because it doesn't make for good print, does it? It doesn't make for good press. everybody's happy, even though they're in lockdown. They want to hear about people who are suicidal. They want to hear about people who are beating each other up or knifing each other because they're in lockdown, because that's sensationalised. They can sell papers with that. It makes me angry. It really does make me angry. They've had a real go at trying to make people happy, and it's been thrown back in the face. Well, they've stuck the fingers up at it, basically. They've said, tough, we're carrying on doing it, so whatever. You know, you can write whatever you want in the papers, but the people on our estate know what we do, and they're happy about what we do. And until a group of them bang on the door, say, don't do it anymore, then carry on doing it. Carry on doing it to make people smile. Because obviously, if you think about it, on a Thursday night at the moment, we are all going out there and we're clapping for the NHS, right? Now, they've gone one stage further. They do a shout-out with all songs on and everything, and, you know, a bit like a disco-y type thing. But obviously, fair enough, if people complain about it at, say, 9 and 10 o'clock, say it went on till then, I could understand it. But this bingo thing, I think they do, is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And we're at a time where it doesn't even go dark till 9:30. So I don't get it. I don't understand why people have to be so pig-headed and horrible about community spirit. I mean, where I was brought up, I've told you before, in a place called Bradley, where we didn't have anything. Nobody had anything. Nobody had money. You're joking me. That was something you dreamed of. But they were the best people I've ever known in my life, because they were thick as thieves, mate. They were brilliant. You could trust them to do anything for you. You could trust them not to rob you blind as soon as you left your front door open. Because we used to leave our front door on the latch and go down and get some groceries, which was down the street, come back, and we never would have thought, oh, well, I bet somebody's been in the house. We just used to leave the door on the latch. Nobody went in. Nobody robbed us. Nowadays, Christ almighty, I wouldn't even dare leave my door open while I just went round the side of the house, put some rubbish in the bin. I wouldn't do it. I mean, we have had at this house about 8 weeks ago now. No, hang on, February, March, April. About 12 weeks ago, we had somebody trying to break in our house in the middle of the night. And we only found out by accident when we got up a couple of days later. My wife went to the front door about something to do with the key. Something to do with the key, I can't remember what it was. The key wouldn't turn on the inside of the door. And she went to the outside of the door, and somebody had actually tried to jemmy the front door handle off. You know, they'd actually tried to jemmy the front door handle off. Well, you could tell it had been jemmied. You could tell a mile off. It was all dented at the side, and they tried to prise the handle off so they could get in. But they'd failed. So whether the dog had disturbed them, I don't know, or whether she'd grumbled and growled the other side of the door. But, you know, this is the kind of community spirit that's available nowadays. Leave your door open and somebody will come in, nick your bloody stuff, and then disappear before you even know they've been in there. I mean, even in the street, I've heard reports of people walking into people's houses while they were sitting watching TV, and it's like, sorry, who are you? And then they've run off. You know, we wouldn't have had anything like that when I was growing up. If somebody had come into your house, they would have been on your permission. You would have actually said to them, yeah, just walk in. You know, door will be on the latch. If you want a cup of tea, just pop in and have a brew. That's what we used to do. You can't do that now. You know, if you want to go round to your mate's house for a cup of tea, say, next door, Tony, my mate Tony. You know, we'll arrange it a couple of days beforehand. It's all right to come round and cut, yeah, we can have a good rattle, blah, blah, blah. You don't just go round there and walk straight in the door. Because the door's locked. Because nobody will leave the doors open. No chance. I wouldn't leave the doors open. We've got 2 doors, an outside door and an inner door, and both of them are always locked. Unless there's a knock on the door, obviously then we open them and take the stuff in. But if we know there's no other parcels coming that day, them doors are locked. You know, it's our security. And the keys are taken out at night. We don't even leave the keys in the door. We take the keys out and put them in a secret place, and we take the keys out the back door and leave them in a place as well, so that nobody can, if anybody breaks in, they'd have to go through panes of glass and locks, locks and all sorts. Because you can't trust people these days. I'm sorry, but you can't. You can't. I mean, when I was younger, I remember all the way up to the age of bloody hell, 30 probably, where I used to walk past people in the street, smile and think, yeah, decent person, that, yeah. Can't be bad, you know. Now you walk past them and you think, are they a child beater? Are they an abuser? Are they a paedophile? Are they a thief? Are they an arsonist? Because this is how society has made you think. Because you will read stories in the papers about somebody who's lived next to somebody for 30 years, and then they found out that that person was a serial killer. And they always say the same thing. Oh, he seems such a lovely bloke. Or, oh, she seems such a lovely woman. Because it's not just blokes. It's not just blokes. I've just read a story literally about half an hour before I've come online, and it's about a woman. Well, it said an 80-year-old bloke or something was stabbed to death in a supermarket in Wales. Now, I immediately jumped to the wrong conclusion and thought that's a bloke on the rampage with a woman's been arrested for doing it. I think they said a 29-year-old woman had been arrested for murder. She went loping with a knife in a co-op, or so I think it's a co-op in Wales. And she slaughtered a bloody 80-year-old bloke, stabbed him in the throat. So, you know, and this is the society we live in. Nowhere's safe. People say, are you worried about a terrorist attack? I'm not. I'm not worried about a terrorist attack. But every time I go downtown, you don't know who's going to be the next psycho in Poundland or in Sainsbury's or in Own Bargains or in HMV. You don't know. Somebody could just come in and go completely loopy, pull a gun out and start shooting everybody. It's a sad world. It really is a sad world. On a really nice positive note, you remember a couple of vlogs ago I promoted a woman called Libby Taylor, who was doing Beauty Without Cruelty. And I'm pleased to say her business is really picking up. She's absolutely loving it because she's a, what is it called? Not an ambassador, something like that for the Body Shop. And she's absolutely loving it. And I see her posts and I like them and I try and give her as much, you know, publicity and watch it as I can. I'm even giving her a mention again now. You know, if you get a chance, go onto a Facebook page, Beauty Without Cruelty, and it's Libby Taylor. And I tell you what, some of the products she does are fantastic. They really are good. I mean, I'm not into all that, but my wife is. My wife loves all the moisturisers, toners, body butters, all this sort of stuff. You know, all the stuff to do with beauty and makeup. My wife's mad on it. I'm not personally. I never got into all that male stuff, grooming and all that, you know, growing your beard and a little goatee and making yourself all posh. Oh, no, it never appealed to me. It never appealed to me at all. Excuse me, my back's hurting. So, yeah, give it a bash. Beauty Without Cruelty. Now, I said it's been a strange week, and that's because Monday morning we had our first delivery from the milkman. We haven't had a milkman delivery since me and Deb have been together. So, we had this delivery, and we ordered yoghurts, milk, cheese, and eggs. Anyway, they all came. But of course, milkmen deliver early, and he said he would be delivering before 7 o'clock. So I got up at 6:30 and came downstairs. And the stuff was here. So I brought it all in, put it where it got to go and went back to bed. Woke up about 2.5 hours later, and I didn't feel right. I felt a bit rough and I couldn't work out why. Anyway, came downstairs, had my cup of tea, did my usual stuff, sat outside on the decking for a bit, and all of a sudden, about 1 o'clock, I felt really off. And I'm talking off. I felt bad, really bad. And I said to Deb, I said, look, I'll give it a little bit longer. I said, but I might have to go up for a lie down. Anyway, I went up at 2 o'clock for a little lie down. 4 hours later, I got up. I was really that bad on Monday. I don't know what was wrong with me. I was literally as if somebody had just... The best way to describe it is imagine somebody could get a Hoover, put it next to you and suck all the energy out your body. And you just feel like dead. Well, that's how I felt. Anyway, I had them 4 hours sleep. And I was okay after that. It weren't too bad. But I started noticing massive pain here in my chest. Well, just above my chest, actually, right here. And I could pinpoint it. I could literally press and feel it. And I know what I've done. I've done the same thing what I do every time I try and help with housework. I pulled a muscle. And I've done some muscle damage to it. Now, it's okay now because it's been another couple of days. And I've been having my painkillers. I've kept them in my system. So it's not so bad now. But yesterday, it was literally a stabbing pain all day. I could not get rid of the stabbing pain here. All day it was. I was sitting outside. I was getting it. I was just doing a bit of listening to music. I was still getting it. I was doing a bit of gaming last night. I was still getting it. It's like I couldn't shift it at all. Now, luckily, it's gone now, and I'm thinking it must have been a muscle. But who knows with me? Now, something I wanted to show you, and I'm just going to lift it up now. Look. I've had a new microphone. Boo. I've had a new microphone. Now, it's not going to be perfect quality sound, because I'm only just getting used to it. But it's a new microphone, and I've had it off one of my testing companies. This one is off Rebetest, I think. And so if the sound is a bit dodgy, bear with me, because I'm only just getting used to all its gadgets, gizmos and what have you. But it's a cracking microphone, it really is. It's really nice. It's quite smart as well. I'll just show you, hold on.
Hello.
I've just been having a prat about with it actually before I came online. I went on to one of those things that's built into your computer. You know, the ones that listen to your voice and then recognise your voice so they know what to do. Now, if you bear in mind, I'm a Stokey, and my voice and how I speak isn't how most people speak. I'll say, how art, what's up, you know, how art, how you doing, alright, and all this, when instead I should be saying, hello, how are you feeling alright? Now, if I spoke to some of my friends like that, they would think I had something wrong with me, because I don't talk like that, or I do not talk like that. People from Stoke do not. We don't. It's just a lazy accent is Stoke, and I don't mind admitting it. You know. Anyway, I've done a 21-minute today, and all I've done is rattle. I've got nothing to unbox or nothing like that. I've got nothing coming either. So at the moment, it's just basically me and a microphone. Anyway, you all take care. I'm hoping that you're doing okay, and I'll do another vlog soon. Bye for now.